Hi everybody, it's David Fleming here from the Toronto Realty Group, and welcome back to this week's Pick 5. Now, it has been a very long time since someone asked me about up-and-coming areas in the city of Toronto. I think everything's pretty much come up by now. In fact, if I were to go back, oh gosh, I want to say like 2008, 2009, I remember doing like a walk and talk with CBC in Danforth Village, and I was on like a Milverton or a Glebe home talking about the opportunity that exists, and I can't believe the amazing prices here. And well, of course, now everything in Toronto is expensive. But if you were to look for areas that I think are hidden gems, let's say, well, irrespective of price, and to be honest, some of these properties are pretty well priced that we're going to see today. If you were to look at hidden gems, there are a handful of areas in the city of Toronto that I just don't think get their due. And today I want to look at one of those. And I'm going to call it the upper beaches. It's kind of a joke. Let's do this. I want to show you something on my screen. So this is the beach, or the beaches. This is the beaches. These are the beaches, let's say. Now, I always thought of upper beaches as the area of the beaches that is toward Kingston Rd. But what people call upper beaches, folks, is this, north of Kingston Rd. And so my cynical side says the upper beaches, we might call this upper beaches for today's Pick 5, but this little pocket here to me represents an absolute hidden gem. And with respect, I will say, and that's just something you say with respect because people like to put comments like, some of your comments are insensitive. Yes, I'm being honest here. With respect, I would say that when I hear Victoria Park, okay, there's a certain connotation there because you're getting towards Scarborough. So, nothing against the people that live out there. Of course, the entire GTA, the entire Golden Horseshoe is an amazing place to live. But when you think Victoria Park, you're starting to think about Scarborough. When I think Victoria Park and Gerrard, I'll be honest, if I was an average person, I wouldn't think, oh, that's a fantastic area to live. But I am here today to tell you, in fact, that it is. Back to my screen here, guys. Do you see these streets? Main, Kingston, yes, the aforementioned Victoria Park, and Gerrard. These streets, and there aren't a lot of them, and I'm going to zoom in here. You see these arrows. They're all one way going north and south, so there's no through traffic. You have Wayland, you have Malvern, you have Hannaford, Pickering, Lawler. We had a client that sold on Bingham not too long ago, and I'm going to tell a brief story. Somebody came into this house on Bingham at the open house. They said they lived on a nearby street, and I kept in touch with these folks, and I sent them houses in the prime beach as an option to move up. And you know what they said? We want to stay in our area. Fast forward 6 months, they emailed me and said, thanks so much for your help, but we've decided to put an extension on our semi-detached because we absolutely love where we live. That's what I find in this area. And so today I want to look at 5 houses that are in this upper beaches, this upper beaches that are, yes, as far as Victoria Park, and that are in an affordable price point, as you will see here. So on my screen, we're now into MLS. And you can see we're $1,099,000, we're $998. Now that looks like it's north of Gerrard. It's actually on Gerrard. $1,249,000, $1,249,000, and $989. So let's start here, guys, with the $989. This house is as cute as a button, if you will. This is 28 Pickering Street. So it's listed for $989. It's a 15.5 by 120. 15.5 is certainly not wide, but again, I would urge you to consider that you are $989. 2-car parking, 15.5 feet. I'm not really sure. It might be the old half a car. It says 2-car parking, no garage, laneway access, 2 beds plus 1 2-bath, and it is really, really cute from the outside. So let's take a look at this. So I love this look. Beautiful front porch. It's covered. I love the architecture here. And right next to it, you know, and this is what's cool about the area. It looks like you got a big old Edwardian detached. And then you got these 2 cute, I don't want to call them starter homes, but yeah, for all intents and purposes, they are. So important to note in this layout, the staircase, usually when you walk in the front door, it's right in front of you. And it runs parallel, it runs long ways. Some of the houses in Toronto, we've explored this in many Pick 5s, have that stairway that cut the house in half. This is exactly that. So I'll show you what I mean here. The second photo, this one here, shows you exactly that. So yes, you still have the stairs that are sort of off of the foyer, but see what I mean, how it cuts the house in half? Some people like this because it defines the home. Others don't because, well, it splits the living from the dining. But as you look and see here, really, really defined rooms. You walk in, there's not much of a foyer. Okay, you have a very, very big living. original fireplace. Not sure if it's still working. And then you go in to what is, in my opinion, a very large dining and a very large kitchen for a house that's only 15.5 feet wide. So great space here, and again, starter home. Now, they're $989, and I'm gonna get to the price in a moment. Beautifully updated kitchen. Really nice. You got a couple of bar stools, you've got a gas stove, you've got nice light and white cabinetry. The countertops, okay, fine. The cream color's not very much in, although it does match over here. You've got a back deck, you've got a barbecue, place for the dog to run around, a little garden if you want to. I mentioned the 2-car parking, which is debatable. Then let's go take a look upstairs. So only a 2-bed. Only a 2-bed, but guys, it's under $1 million. Once upon a time, you couldn't get this for under $1 million. Nice door, that's really neat. And that's thinking, because if you're gonna do a pocket door, if you're gonna do a bifold, don't love those. If you want one that pulls out or goes in, you're gonna minimize the space that you can use in the bathroom. There's a very smart design in this that I like, and again, it's not a huge bathroom, but these houses are very small, 15.5 by 120. There's the second bedroom. So it is a starter home. And I don't want to say there's no room to grow because, well, look at the bedroom in the basement, for example. Fantastic room to grow. Can be your office, can be your extra bedroom, can be your rec room, whatever you want. But of course there is, and we'll keep going here, more to this house. If you want the home office, there you go. And so you can see bedroom in the background, and again, the staircase splits the house in half. And then you've got the other bathroom at the back. Went with some pretty bold colors there. So let's take a look outside. As I said, you've got the deck. You've got the backyard, you've got some trees, some greenery, you're well protected. I don't say protected, but there's some privacy. This is a great first time buyer house. Look at this. You've got your deck up here, storage box, barbecue, and then you've got a dining area down here. I love this already. There's your 2-car parking at the back. 1.5, let's say. We've rounded it off with a photo of the beach. This is really, really well presented. Great listing, whoever's this is. Really, really nice. So question, guys, do we have an offer date here? Let's scroll down and see. Yes, offers, Monday, October 6th at 7 p.m. What do we think this is going to sell for? This house was purchased for $975,000 in 2017. As we know, the market shot up, the market came down, and now here we are. So really, really well presented. Everyone wants 1-2 for these houses nowadays. Don't know what's actually going to happen. We will see on the offer date. Now, interestingly enough, this is the only one of 2 houses that has an offer date, although 3, I say 2.5. I'll show you why one of them has kind of an asterisk. So the next one here, guys, is 2311 Gerrard. Now I'll show you where this one is, right on Gerrard. So no one wants to live on a main street, right? What if the value was absurd? Now I have a client that lives on Dundas Street East. Yes, they're on a busy street, but you know what? They got a massive discount. This house is incredible for what it is. They're listed at $998. They are a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. It's on a 15.69 by 150 deep. You will not believe this backyard. No, it doesn't have any parking, but wait until you see the photos of this house. It's a steal at $998. So from the front, you can see this is a very typical Gerrard. This looks like my client's place on Dundas. So you've got your teeny little walk up here. And notice this, right? Sort of a big void here. Do you know what's different about this house? Is they have the covered front porch. So maybe we're, being generous with our staging. We're putting a computer here and saying, this is your home office. But either way, I love covered front porches because I'm a dad and I know that kids have a lot of stuff and things. Where are you gonna put your stroller? Where are you gonna put all your kids' soccer cleats and whatnot? My kids don't play soccer yet. I love the fedora here. But my point is, guys, a covered porch to me, I don't know. I guess some people like to sit on their front porch and have coffee and watch the world go by, but I think there's tremendous value there. Then you get into the house itself. Big principal rooms, big living, big dining, and you've got your kitchen with, a bit of, oh, these are out of order. Oh man, these are really out of order. Okay, listen, I love the listing. I'm just saying we could put these in better order. So then you've got your kitchen with kind of the short order chef window, and some people would say, well, I want to open that up, and now we're in the bathroom. Oh man, these are really out of order. Are we upstairs? Okay, focus, David. Apologies, these aren't really in order. It's not like I can reorder them. They're on MLS. So upstairs you can see original parquet flooring, no big deal, that's fine. You can take that out if you don't like it. It is hardwood for what it's worth. It's just not really the style. They've spent their money where it's important. They've done it on the main floor. And you'll see some of the other things, like if you go back here, okay, check this out. So you see this wire mold here with the light switch and the wire mold up top. So fine. Some of the things are not brand new 2025, but the renovation's great. Look at the size of this primary bedroom. That is a king. Very nice. I like the paneling. And there's a wood door up here, if I recall correctly. Maybe one of the next photos. There you go. That's beautiful. Nice big sliding door. That's two in a row now we've seen with these sliding doors. Okay, so this to me is huge, guys. This is off of the kitchen. This is an extension. This is a family room. Maybe you don't need it in a first-time buyer house, but you're talking $998 to have a living room and then a family room extension off the back. And then you can see the massive, massive lot that's back there. So now we're back in the kitchen. I don't understand these photos. Really, really out of order. But that back there was the family room. Phenomenal, phenomenal value. You know what's funny is when I first started doing Pick 5, you could only have 20 photos on MLS. I got to click through them. I told my story. Now that we have 50 photos, yeah, these could get a little bit longer. So basement. Yes, you have the ductwork going over top of you, but what do you want for $998? You're not getting a 9-foot basement with drywall and pot lights. Yeah, you've always got the 2 doors here that has your electrical panel and it's kind of in your rec room. Fine. This is a classic finished basement for a house of this vintage in this area. You have your rec room with your wall-mounted TV. What more could you possibly want? Look at that backyard. 150 feet. This thing's wild to me. There's the bathroom. These are really out of order. Holy moly, moly, moly. Okay. Let's finish it here. Got the deck. I love it. Yeah, but it's on a main street, but the discount is inherent. Now, this thing has been on the market for quite some time. I believe it has been listed 5 times, if I'm not mistaken. And you know what? These people paid essentially what they are looking to get now. This is an incredible opportunity within this area. $998, 3-bed, 2-bath, fully finished, 150-foot lot. No, it doesn't have a parking space, but if you're willing to make that sacrifice and if you've got $1 million cap, this is an unbelievable property. Okay, let's look at the next one here, guys. So now we're gonna go to Kimberly, 95 Kimberly. I said earlier that there were like 2.5 offer dates. What I meant by that was essentially that these guys were already on the market at a higher price and now they're lower with an offer date. That doesn't really count to me because they've already kind of shown their hand. But see where this one is? Not too far from Main and Gerrard, right? And looks like all the houses are just in from Gerrard. But this one's really pretty from the outside, this vintage red brick look. It's 19 by 105, 3-bed, 3-bath. Again, listed at $1,099,000. They were on the market, guys, for $1,349,900. Didn't sell. Now they're doing that let's list low with an offer date, which probably never works because you've already showed your hand. But regardless, love the look of this house. Doesn't have parking like the house in Gerrard. There's a lot of houses in this area that don't have parking, but look how pretty this is. From the red brick outside, I love the black windows. I'm a huge fan of black window frames because I bought a house that had those and I didn't love it at the time, but now I do. It's funny how when you buy a house, sometimes you just grow to love the finishes that are in it, right? But it's got this modern look and feel to a vintage home. This is early 1900s, and they've kept the early 1900s red brick vibe, but then on the inside, super, super modern. Again, love the paneling, love the black here. Very much open concept. Now, living at the front is very big. Dining, kind of, right, we got kitchen back here. The dining room per se is, yeah, okay, it's like a dining table in the living room. It's not a huge footprint, but as you can see, they've turned the table sideways and it works. So here you look and you say, right, I'm always about compromises, but here you look and you say, okay, so I'm getting the finish and maybe I'm giving up a little bit of the size. That's a very, very common trade-off for a lot of folks because this is beautifully, beautifully renovated. There's no doubt about it. $1,349,000. Really, really good, guys. And I don't want to speak to, potential price here of what someone would or wouldn't accept, but they were on the market. Oh, sorry, I meant $1,099,000. They're on the market for $1,349,000. Now they're at $1,099,000. So they didn't get their $1,349,000. What are they looking at? $1,325,000, $1,300,000, $1,275,000. Who knows until they actually sell it. The point is, for a renovated product like this, no, it doesn't have a parking space, but that's all that it's missing. The key in the door, always a bit suspect to me. When a builder builds a house and they put locks on the bedroom doors, it's kind of like a student thing, right? So 3 beds, 3 baths, as I mentioned, and beautifully done. Really, really nice. As I said, 50 photos. We got to go through them quick. And there's the basement. It's got nice ceiling height. It's got a built-in TV, and you can see maybe they underpinned it. Maybe that bench is for window well here, letting in a little bit of natural light, right? Oh yeah, they've got the steps down here, so maybe they did dig that out. Oh wow, what a great spot. So the basement's not huge. Then you've got a little backyard. Okay, it's fine. We can put some turf down. We can sod it in the spring. But we've done the flagstone. Siding's in good shape. We don't really need the bump out. These folks did it. If you wanted the bump out, I guess you could. But here's your deck. Put a barbecue out here. As I said, we can sod this in the spring. Nice tree coverage. Oh, hello. Okay, here's our house. Here's Kimberly Junior Public School. Nicely, nicely done. So I like this one a lot. 1,349,000. Now they're at 1099. Love the location. And as I mentioned at the onset, all of these streets run north and south, so there's no through traffic. That's the thing about an area where, I say this a lot in Riverdale, for example, not a lot of traffic in Riverdale because you're not really going anywhere unless, you've got one going north-south in Pape and one going, Withrow. And then if you're heading east or west from the park or to the park, you can't turn around and go the other way. So areas like this, I find when you have all of these one-way streets, you're creating an environment where no one's on that street unless they live there because you're just not used to passing through. So next one here, guys, 184 Swanwick. Where is this on our map? This one's a little bit further south because the first two, of course, we were on Gerrard and then we were just on Kimberly. So this one's a block down and again on another one-way street. Well, Swanwick's going east-west, but this is what I mean, is that you're gonna have no through traffic here because Pickering goes north and Lawler goes south. And this one here, guys, is another semi, 18, so wider, 90, shorter, 3-bed plus 1, 3-bath. They're at 1,249,000. So they reduced. They were 1,249,000. They were 1,339,000. They were previously 1,199,000 with the offer date. So you can see there's a lot of different pricing strategies here. And they tried to list low with an offer date, increase the price. Now they've done the decrease. So we see a lot of people relist. We see the same number actually do the price drop. If it's me, I usually relist, but maybe they just didn't want to have, a fourth listing. So let's take a look at this one. Like the name Swanwick, it's a very brand name street. So they open up with a photo not of the house, but of the living room here. I can't tell if this is virtual staging. No, I don't think it is. Sometimes, a little darker photo there. See this versus this. And then you go from obviously horizontal to vertical. Okay. All right. I would like to see all the photos horizontal. There's another photo. That's great. It's funny. The virtual staging is so good these days. What is happening? Look at this one here. Beautiful, well lit. And then you got this one here. Okay, well, yeah, there we go. Another beauty. Okay, we're gonna continue along. So you can see the original rads here, but I like the look and feel of this kitchen. Same thing, modern style in the bathroom. You've got the glass banisters here. Now we're back to of course, the vertical photos. And then really big, and now that's only a queen, but it looks like a really big primary bedroom with a little walkout, lots of natural light coming through, room for 3 dressers. And then back to the vertical photos. Okay, second bedroom. Yeah, this is definitely not virtually staged because you wouldn't virtually stage with the 3 guys from The Simpsons. Actually, that's not the 3 guys from The Simpsons. That looks like one of those caricatures you buy on Instagram. Seems like a good idea at the time. You're like, I'm gonna get my husband and I as Simpsons characters. And then you put it on the wall probably like that. I'm guessing that's what that is. Okay. So a real mix of photos here. Yeah, okay. Basement, very nice. I don't know about the black paint. That's pretty aggressive. The darker the color, the smaller the rooms look, but great rec room. And that's really what you want in the basement. If you could, with a house this size, you'd like to have a rec room in the basement, a home office / 4th bedroom in the basement, and then a bathroom. And this has exactly that. So here's the back deck. You can see there's one off the top floor, as I mentioned. Decent lot. It's only 90 feet. But this is really polished. This is really well done. You got that chair, the egg. I remember when we had the terrace. We had a big terrace. Well, my first condo had a really big terrace, my second one as well. We went to Dot Furniture to get patio furniture, and my wife was like, I want to get the egg. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. I think I'd get dizzy. I think being in that, and it was like $5,000. So there's the outside of the house. I don't know why they didn't lead with that photo. It's a very charming house. If I saw this, honestly, I would think you're Upper Beaches. It has a very defined feel to it. So it's a very pretty house, and then we're back to the first one, which seems virtually staged to me. So a really interesting mix here of those horizontal and vertical photos, but 1,249,000 for a 3-bed plus 1, 3-bath. It's renovated. It's got a parking space. They were at 1,339,000. They're at 1,249,000. I said originally I wasn't going to talk about up-and-coming areas or value pockets, but I look at listings like this and I think, you know what? There is value in this area. I just like it because it's under the radar. It's sleepy. I really, really like this area. We had a couple of listings in here. I think that, it was going back to fall of 23 and early 2024. Spent a lot of time in this area. So another great one, and I love the look. I love the look of this house. I don't know what it is about it. I need to take a course in architecture clearly, but I love this style of house. This is 106 Malvern, list 1,249,000. Now they do have an offer date, And I do believe they're looking for more, so this one's probably going to be the most expensive of the lot. Now, they bought it for $1,105,000 7 years ago. Market's gone up, market's gone down. You would expect what you paid 7 years ago, you're going to see a premium on it, hence why I think they're $1,249 with an offer date. Now, 3-bed, 2-bath. Here again, they say 2-car parking, but they're $18.75. So the other one said 2-car parking and it was $15.5. Maybe you could get 2 cars in the $18.75, 133 deep. This is an Edwardian. This is a 1915 build. Yeah, something about this I love, although they took off the front porch, you can see here, like these guys, or not the front porch, but they took off the railing. So on the inside, and this is probably my favorite listing today, not because it's listed by a friend of mine. We're supposed to go to dinner, a bunch of us, once from another brokerage, and we didn't. I knew I would be the only one to put it in my calendar. Then comes the day, I'm at a charity golf tournament, picking up the kids tonight. Another guy says I completely forgot, and I don't know what this guy's excuse was. I hope you get this sold, bud. Okay, so inside, beautiful staging, really good job. Maybe it's not staging. Maybe it's just how these folks live. I love this detail here. I love that it's open concept, 18 feet wide. So see, remember the house where I said it's not really a dining because the table was sideways? This just feels a bit longer to me. You have room for couch and 2 chairs. These are not small. These are not fake staging chairs. Then you've got a long 6-person table that leads right into a pantry and then a really big kitchen. And was that, can we take a look here? Is that the door down to the basement and a mudroom? Okay, we'll come back to that in a moment. So I also wanted to come back to, sorry to make you dizzy, you have this wine fridge in here and then the kitchen. Beautifully, beautifully done. I like this a lot. So it is enclosed, right? We've got this wall here. It's not totally open concept, but what you see, and I'm going to go back to it and make you dizzy here, was, right, this nice big pantry here. So not everything has to be open concept. You don't have to rip down every single interior freestanding wall. You can still have the enclosed kitchen. It's not really enclosed because, of course, you can, you're not opening a door to get to it. Big picture window looking out over the backyard. You can see why this one's my favorite so far. I mean, I like them all, to be honest. Like, incredible value in that Gerrard house. Like, that's something. So I'm interested to know how these guys did. Then you go upstairs, you can see, yeah, it's a little bit less polished. People usually spend their money on the main floor, and as they should. It's where you spend most of your time. I've never been a big, like, blow your brains out on the bedroom. Like, you sleep up there. Come on. Really nice bathroom reno here. 2nd bedroom. Nicely done. And 3rd bedroom. So decent size all told. So now the basement. Now I mentioned, right, you've got that little, I wouldn't say mudroom, but up top. Okay, nice flow down to the basement, and you can already see in the distance, massive TV. And you know how am I going to describe this on camera? In a lot of these semis, when you get down to the rec room, hard to describe it. This is set up long ways. The other ones are set up the opposite way. I don't think that made any sense. See what I mean? See how this is long ways? Normally you would have, okay, my TV's here and my couch is here because this room is so short. With this property, the rec room is really, really big. And this, again, is not a small couch. Nice ceiling height, pot lights. This is a great house. This is my favorite one today, I have to say. And this price point, for what you're getting in this area, I really, really, and even outside 2-tier deck, you got tree coverage, you've got parking. I really like this area. See this right here? It's sleepy. There's no through traffic. It's quiet as hell. This is one of the best kept secrets in Toronto. I don't even know what to call it. Is it upper beaches? People aren't gonna like that. There's your 1.5 car. All right, fine, you can get 2 cars there. Upper beaches. I don't know, guys. Like I said, I would have thought upper beaches is sort of the top portion of beaches proper, which means that you're south of Kingston Rd, but you're almost up there, so you're the upper beaches. Most people call this the upper beaches. You're south of Gerrard, but you're north of Kingston Rd. And then you get into that area where Crossover Street is. I've got a friend that lives in there. You're by Ted Reeve Arena, and people call that the upper beaches. And I'm like, yeah, you guys are north of Gerrard. You're like upper. So anyways, guys, that is it for today. This area is one of, in my opinion, the best kept secrets in the city of Toronto, especially if you're raising a young family. The streets are so quiet. They're all one way, crisscrossing. There's no through traffic. And as I said, I've heard from so many people in this area that once they live there, they do not want to move, to the point of one person saying, I'm not buying in the beach. I'm not even buying within the area. I'm going to throw an extension on my existing house and stay there forever. So that's it for me for this week, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you'd like to have Pick 5s emailed to you automatically, go to Toronto Realty blog and sign up. You get an email every Thursday when we put these out. And you guys, thank you for watching. Have a fantastic long weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.